Yo, everybody, MCD here. Doing something a little bit different today. I figured I'd let you guys in on kind of give you a view of what I do, because I do get a lot of questions about that. So if you were watching any of my streams the last couple of days, I've kind of shown this add-on that I was working on, just a personal thing, personal project. It has basically I want it to spawn in lots of people, like different looking people, different textured people. And the people all have different personality traits. Right now I only have a couple of the traits programmed in. I'll show you here. You can see that we have something for I do have male and female, but I haven't programmed in the female model yet, so I have to do that. But I have a speed. So I have skin type, which is basically, it tells you which texture the person's going to be. There's like, right now I think I have 15 different textures. There's also a size variant. So you can see here it's using the scale property. And there's a set of different scales, like there's 8 different sizes, and there's also 8 different speeds that I have. Okay, so that the speeds, of course, determines how quickly they move. The scale determines the size of the person. And then I have a social property, which is a little more complex than just the single property traits up here, like the size and the speed. This one has behavior to follow the other mobs, like I said, to mingle or to make small talk, basically. Random stroll, which would allow them to kind of look around and observe what's going on. So there's 3 different levels of those characteristics, and then I also have a violent behavior or component group that I'm putting in there that only affects about 1 out of every 20 people that are born or spawn into the world. And what's up, Doc? What's going on, Mahib? So it's a rare. It doesn't happen for many of the players or the people that spawn in, but occasionally you'll get one that wants to fight the other ones. Okay, so then in the components, these are shared components. So the ones that I did up here are variable. They change for every one that's spawned in. For these components, these are across the board. Okay, you have a physics component, which means that physics apply to the entity, so it has gravity, it can't fly, things like that. Movement is a required one. If you want it to move, you have to have a movement and then specify whether it's generic or a fly or a swim, things like that. Then I have a jump static, can climb. Navigation also is required if you want something that moves, and there's some some properties in here. Then you have health, which is the health, like how many health bars it has, which 20 is the same as the player. That equals 10 hearts. Attack damage is just 2. So anyway, so this gives it a nearest. If there's a target, it can of a monster. It can. What's up, Doc? How's it going, Mahib? Mahib Games. Okay, I didn't know what your last name was on there. Hey, what's up, George? So anyway, so this is just kind of breaks down on how it behaves, and this is when the entity is spawned in. You have something called a spawn event, okay, which is right here. So with that spawn event, what I've done is I've done a sequence, which means it goes through these different tasks in order. And the first of the sequence is to randomize the height, or excuse me, the skin, so that it tells you which texture it's going to look like. So it's going to pick between one of these. Right now I have 13 of them coded in. All right, the next thing it's going to do is the same thing with speed. Then it's going to do the same thing with, size, and then we have the social groupings. And then the last one that I have is the one that's the mean trait, the one that'll make it fight. And you see most of the time, 19 out of 20 times, it's going to be just a normal peaceful entity. 1 out of every 20 it'll have violent. CMB's base was a bit destroyed. By who? That's not good. Alright, so I'm going to show you now what this actually does. I'm going to go to the game. I'm going to create a new world. I'm doing creative. We'll call this people demo. Advanced. Let's see, advanced. We'll do a flat world, and I'll let everything. I'm going to turn the weather off. So I need to turn cheats on. I'm going to make it always day, and I'm going to make it where weather does not happen. Okay, and then I need to apply my packs. As you can see, I have a lot of them to choose from here, and then I have people, activate, resource pack available, owned would be people. Let's see, where's people? People, all right, there we go, activate, and then I'm also gonna have to turn on experiments on this one. Right now it doesn't need them, but I'm going to add features that will require experiments on, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Where is it? The holiday features, and then we'll also do custom biomes because that's something I'm going to do in a minute or two. Trying experiments anyways, and molaying. Where's the molaying? Okay, so now we should create it. It depends. It depends on what you're doing. So right now I don't have any kind of spawn rules. That's the next thing I'm going to do. Is create spawn rules. So right now, in order to get anything to spawn, I have to do an egg. So you come here and you have person, okay? So I'm going to spawn in some of these. And as you can see, they all look a little different. They're different sizes. They'll have different speeds to move around. And then you should see, occasionally, one of them should start hitting the other ones. It won't have the animation to hit, though. You'll see the red damage on players around that one. I have to add the animations for all that. The only animation I have on here is walk right now. So as you can see, some of them will break into little groups. Yeah, I still have to do the model for the female, but there will be. There's going to be men and women. Alright, so you see somebody's getting beat up over here. So this little guy here looks like he has the mean code, or the mean gene. So he's going after the big fella. Alright, and now he'll wait a minute, and then he'll go after the next one. Somebody else is hitting something, or, okay. Here's a fight over here. These ones look like they both might have it. Alright, he's down, so. Anyway, so that's going to be, obviously I'm going to add more behaviors for all the people, more traits, things like that. But let's go ahead and try to do a, well, let's see. Watch, I can do one. We can, just to show you how this works, and give you kind of an idea of what happens here. That's right, he's a tough little kid. We can do this. So look, I can do, let's say we want to add a jumping component where it makes you can jump really high, okay? So I can do component groups. I can do MCD. That's the namespace, and then jump 1. And that one can have a, it'll have a static jump. Jump power for that's going to be, we'll go 1, okay? Which is going to be pretty high. And then we'll do MCD jump 2. Alright, and we're also going to do a static jump in that one, and we're going to make this one 2, which is really high. Really, really high, okay? So now we have these two jump characteristics that are in here, okay? So what we can do then is go down to our events, and inside that event, the spawn event, which I showed you, entity spawn, then you have the sequence that again assigns the, first of all, the skin, like, which is the way it looks. Then you have the speed, and then you have the size, and then you have the mean character or the social, and then the one if it's violent. Well, we're going to add another one in here like this, and then we're going to do weight, or we're going to, actually I'm sorry, we're going to do randomize, and then we have the things that we're going to do. We're going to go weight. We're going to say 9 out of 10 of them are going to be just normal. So we do weight and nothing else, okay? Weight means how likely it is to occur. Then we're going to go weight 1. And then we're going to tell to add a component group, which is what we just made. We just made the jump. And we made, and then so that's one, and then we're going to do the other one, which will be weight 1, add component groups, jump 2. Oops. All right, so now I'm going to save this. Yeah, zombies will kill them. All right, so now I've saved it, right? And now I'm going to go back to the world. And when I spawn in, now when I spawn in a person, some of them should jump really high. Well, let me give them a reason to jump. Alright, so you see some of them jump now. I made the models, that's why it's not that good. I'm not a very good modeler, as you can tell. But you see how that works now? So we put a jump property in there that is supposed to only happen 1 out of every like 1 out of every 10, it can, or 2 out of 10, it could get one of the 2 jump properties, and the rest of them won't have that high jump property. So that's how you add different characteristics to any model, or any entity. I mean, any mob. That's how it's done in the game. That's how, like with the vanilla coding. That's how you have to add behaviors to these things. Okay. So we could also do it where all right, let's see here. I'll show you how you can get more complex stuff, because this that we're doing is pretty basic. So, but we can add an environment sensor to it. So we're going to go up to our shared characteristics, which are up here, the components. We're still under component groups and weight right now. But I can go to the components, okay, and we have like all these things can climb, jump static, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's do a environmental sensor. Environment sensor. You got triggers. We're going to do an array because it could be one of many triggers that we're going to use. Okay. The first one we're going to do is filters. What's up, Maib? And we're going to test for a filter, for a condition, basically. All right, go ahead, Mahib. We can talk. Let's see. We can see if it has damage, has container open, has component. These are all the different things you can do. There's a lot of different components. So let's do this. Let's make it if one's on the ground, okay? If we do on ground, and we say that it's not on the ground, so if it's one of those jumping ones, so we're going to do operator not equal to, okay, and this is the subject would be self, because we're testing for its own, each entity individually, okay? So if those happen, then we need to give it an event that'll happen. So we're going to give it an event, and in this event, we're going to make it grow. We're going to make it really big. Just if it jumps or if it's off the ground, it's going to get really big, okay? So we're going to do MCD grow. All right, and then we need to add an event here for MCD grow. So we come back down to our events, and we want to be outside of the original sequence that we do. So let me get up to the top so I know that we're outside of that. So under events, we have where we have melee. We're going to do MCD grow, and since you know what, and since I know we're gonna do something else, since I have command blocks on, or excuse me, experimental features, we're gonna run command. Run command. Command. All right, now we're gonna put a command here. So the command I'm gonna put is gonna be, what should we make it do? We will make it, okay, if it's off the ground, we'll make it damage other entities around it, okay? So we'll put execute at ER equals 12. That means anything within 12 blocks of it. Okay, well I'll check that out in a minute. I don't know. I'll look at that in a minute, but I'm not doing that right now. I'm doing this stuff. So so if anything within the 12 blocks, we're gonna do damage at self to entity attack. Or no, we'll do let's see, we'll do falling damage. Well, hold on, let me look at something real quick, because that's a new command, so let me see how that goes. No, it's not normal human. Alright, so damage. So the first one is the target, and the next one is the damager. So I don't know what we would put. I don't think we need it for this example that I'm doing here. So I'm going to get rid of it. So I think this should do it. Let's see. I think that'll do it. Let's try it. That might be wrong. I might have an error in my command there, but let's see. So, oh, and then I need to add. All right, so we should be good. Let's add. Let's see if that works. So anything that jumps now, if one of these things jump, yeah, you see one of them off the ground and the other ones take damage that are anywhere near them. So that's how you add environmental sensors and stuff to the game. Okay. So if I put more in here, and this should damage me too, actually. Well, no, never mind. I'm in creative. But anything within 12 blocks will take damage. All right. So that's how that works. Now we can also do an interact, okay? So this is some of the more complex kind of things that you can do with entities, but we can add an interact component to it. So I'll come back up here to my components. Down below the environment sensor that I added, I'm going to add interact. And then we have to do interactions. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is on interact. And then we need to add filters. Okay, the filter is going to be let's say if let's see if I interact with it, and let's say okay, test. I'll do has equipment. The value for that will be if I'm holding a stick. Okay. Then we'll do event. Oops. Sorry, excuse me. Domain. I need to do domain, which means where I'm holding it or where it would be located. I'll put hand. And the subject needs to be other, the other thing involved with this interaction. Okay. So once you do that, you give it an event. And that event will be MCD grow. So I should have named that, or I don't know why I named the last one grow, because, but it'll do the same thing now. So it'll hurt anything. Let's see here. So let me save this. Open this. And oh, we have an error somewhere. Let me see. No, we don't. Hold on. Let's see. Maybe it just took the spawn egg from me because I redid. If I add it, let's see. Yeah, I got an error somewhere. Let me look at my code. Okay, here's the error. Let's see. MCD grow. Oh, I see. Yeah. All right, there we go. That should fix it. All right. So now look, if I right click on him now, nothing happens, okay? But if I put a stick in my hand, all right, let's see, I got a stick in my hand. And you see how now it hurts anything that's around it when I touch him? So that's how that works. All right, so that's interaction. That's how you get some of the more complex interactions in the game. Like basically this is how like shearing a sheep works, okay? You have to, there's an interact component in there, and it has set to having to have shears in your hand, and then that's when it will give you the item. So look, I can tell it now to, let me see, save and quit. All right, so before the interact, I can also do spawn entities. We can do spawn a lay. Although I don't think I have that feature on, so I won't do that. Let's have it spawn a boat. Okay. So now when I do when I interact with it, it should spawn a boat. Oops, didn't mean to do that one. This one's all sorts of craziness going on. Well, I'll show you. Some of you didn't see this, I don't think. This is something that I did. This is a marketplace build that I'm waiting on it to I'm waiting on. There's a bug in the developer version, so they're not able to test flat worlds right now with Microsoft. But this is one that's in queue. It's called Infinity City that I built. It basically gives random generation for your world. It can create, and it creates cities. There's a little fuck up there from it last night. I don't know what happened. Yeah, see, it gets tricked up here. Let me see what fucking happened. Last night I had all sorts of craziness going on, so like all that right there shouldn't happen. Some way everything got realigned, and now it's overwriting. But again, there's an error there. Should start generating right here, it looks like. Yeah, there we go. I don't know, guys, but I'll ban the two of them. I don't know. Is the main base like the cave base and everything fucked up? So, and I'll show you all how this works too. This is actually kind of cool how it works. I think I must have the settings fucking low on here because it's not seeming to, something's seeming to miss. Or something's wrong with that chunk right there. This is an old version that I'm doing, so. Like it's been reworked a few times since then. This isn't the one that was submitted to Marketplace, but. For some reason the sensors seem to be not triggering right. Let's see. It's only going at an angle. Alright, I don't think it's generating the way it's supposed to. It looks like it's doing all right now without any biome information. So it's all just getting the flatland. So something crossed up here. There's the spawn. So let's see. Let me see if I can get it generating in a different direction here. No, there's crossover there, so there's some sort of error. Alright, so I'm going to show you if I go below. If I go below ground. Oops. Into the void. This is where it determines what's going to load in. Those different colors. This is the biome data basically. And when it does load in, it becomes just bedrock. If you can see that. So that means that land has loaded in and it won't load in again. That's the whole point of the bedrock there. But anywhere that's colored means that there's land that needs to load in. And it's been determined that, you know, whatever orange is, I forget what it's coded to, but orange is a certain biome or a certain type of chunk where purple's different. But it's definitely not firing all the sensors right now because this should all be covered up in different color. So anyway, so that's how it works. This is more advanced programming like you would do. This isn't like an add-on. This is for, again, Marketplace build. This is a very technical build too. Oh, that's all right, no problem. So right here, this is where some of the fuck up happened. I don't know what, but you can see these colors. All right, so this is more of the area that's going to be loading in. Whatever yellow is, it might be city, I'm not sure. But as soon as it turns into bedrock, that means that the actual loading has happened. So this is like, again, this is real technical. This isn't entity based. So let me go up to the top here. This is kind of boring stuff, but it's really the stuff that you need to kind of know. Like, let's see, this is had some fuck up. This is overwriting right now, which it shouldn't do. There should be no overwriting of biomes. So something with using the older version isn't compatible. So, anyways, but that's just an example. I didn't even mean to click on that world, but I figured I'd show you since I did on accident. But back to the people demo thing, I think I just added something to it. What did I do? I added another interact. Oh, now it should give you a boat when you interact, I think. Let's see. I think that's what I did. Yeah, see? It makes a boat too, okay? But only if you're holding the stick. If I'm not holding the stick, nothing will happen when I interact with them. If I hold the stick, it hurts. It puts damage on them. Again, if any of these random ones come in, they have the jumping characteristic, which makes them jump real high. It'll damage anything else around it. So this is just showing you guys. I know these are pointless examples, but this is showing you how you get to where you get in the game. You know, like how certain things happen. There's the high jumpers that randomly happen. Yeah, I'm definitely not a 3D model or a texture artist or anything. I like the jumpers though, they're pretty cool. Let's see. This is live. I'm doing this as we talk. I'm doing like making changes to these things. I'll show you how the modeling happens real quick, and then I got to get off of here. But so this is how, when you say they're scary, I'll show you why. I'm not a good modeler. That's the main reason, or a texture artist. So, but if I open up my block bench, and let me minimize it so it doesn't make everything crash. It might crash everything because it's 3D modeling, which is a whole nother level of. All right, so here's the model. Let me make it a little bit bigger. All right, that's like my person model, okay?